dropped 153 points on the Timberwolves last night behind Kawhi Leonard's 45. Kawhi was 6 of 9 from 3. He made 9 of 10 free throws. The Clippers have now won 3 in a row, 6 out of their last 7. Are we sleeping on the Clippers, SA?
I don't think we are, because I don't think they're better than OKC, Denver, San Antonio, stuff like that. But Kawhi Leonard is just reminding us of what a superstar he is when he's healthy enough to be on the court. He's missed about 14 games this year. I believe he's still eligible for any of the awards that are out there for him to get, even though I don't think he'll get it. But, I mean, I'm just looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Are you going to guard him? Are you going to do something about it? Because this is the second time he's dropped over 40 on them in the last month. He dropped 40-plus on the Houston Rockets as well. He dropped 55 on the Detroit Pistons, so it's not like he's prejudiced and just pinpointing Minnesota. But nevertheless, Kawhi Leonard is phenomenal. He's great when healthy. I just never have any faith that he's going to be available when it really, really counts. But if he is on the court, you have a chance, because he's that special of a player. I'm just happy that it seems as if he's prioritized being on the court right now more than he has in recent memory. And obviously the Clippers are benefiting from it. So props to them.
So right now, Kawhi Leonard, he entered the season with 1 career 45-point game. You pointed out he's already had 3 so far this year. Really quick, should he be in a conversation for any of these postseason awards? He is playing much more this season than he ever has in years past.
He should be. He should be. Nobody's more critical of him than me, because I think he's invented ways to take time off. I think he's an absolute expert at it, but that hasn't been the case this season. For the most part, he's been available, and they've been winning because of it. So in fairness to him, because I am a fair man, he deserves consideration for a lot of things. There's no doubt about it. He is one of the elite players in the world when he is healthy. It's just that he's rarely healthy and he's rarely available when it really counts. And that's not something that can be said about him right now. He is busting people's living you know what. He is doing his thing, and he deserves all the credit in the world, and I'll be damned if I'm going to take it from him. He deserves it. Let's give it to him. And let's hope that it continues, because if it continues, we're going to have some basketball going on in L.A., and what we're really hoping for, particularly if you're Stephen A., is that there's basketball in Southern California past the first round.
Fair enough. Clippers have won 3 in a row. Timberwolves, on the other hand, hot team in the West, they have lost 3 in a row. Keep an eye on that. We'll have more First Take when we return. Stick around. Caitlin Clark and Team USA played their first game of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers Wednesday, beating Senegal 110-46. Clark finished with that wasn't a typo. Clark finished with 17 points and 12 dimes in her U.S. Women's Senior National Team debut. SA, your thoughts on CC being back?
Well, you know I love her. You know how much I love watching this young lady play. She's spectacular, not just as a shooter, but as a playmaker. She comes off the bench in the middle of the first quarter and immediately records 3 assists, 2 of them to Billings and 1 of them to Kelsey Plum. I mean, the girl can play. It's just that simple, and she can really, really shoot. And I just hope that everybody's wise enough to ride that wave. A rising tide lifts all boats. She should have been on Team USA for the Olympics as far as I'm concerned. It was a mistake that she wasn't, because I think that would have elevated the profile of women's basketball globally, not just nationally. But that was then. This is now. Utilize this girl, her gifts, and the notoriety and attention that she brings to everybody around her, and ride that wave. That's all I need to say about that.
I agree with you. Also, 110-46. These women are not playing around. Let's get to another quick take.
You know, after that run, and do you think if they would have stayed together, they would have had a chance to at least win one?
Yes, we thought that was going to be the team we was going to have to face year in and year out. Obviously, San Antonio, they had different plans. But I was very surprised because they were so young. They were very young. So, you know, when teams are young, they are ascending. And obviously we see the careers that, you know, they big 3 that they had individually. But as a team, we thought that we were going to have to see them year in and year out. But, you know, Tim Duncan, you know, he had a lot to say about that. And TP and then Kawhi emerged. And so, you know, the Spurs had a lot to say about that.
Yes, Nora, Spurs homer here. I have a question about Kawhi. By the way, the fact that I'm asking a Kawhi question today in 2026 about 13 and 14, given the night he had last night, is just such an awesome full circle moment. But LeBron's mentality when he had to play against Kawhi, because we do have the audible F-bomb memory that is glorious. What was his mentality towards Kawhi? And as a team, when you see that dude on the court, what'd y'all think?
Well, anytime a player can get easy buckets, they want to get easy buckets. And so that moment that people, when LeBron made that face, it was like he kind of maybe left some food on the table. Because anytime you get a chance to get some breathing room as a scorer, you're going to take advantage of that before your tough defender come back in. So we didn't look at Kawhi it wasn't like any fear towards Kawhi or nothing, but it was a respect factor that, hey, we got to be a little sharper around him. You can't be loose with the ball around him. Your passes have to be on point because he's an excellent defender. And so we were very, very conscious of that. Whenever he was anywhere near the play, we had to make sure we was extra sharp because if he wasn't, he was going to get a deflection or a steal. And Brian understood that as well.
Respect that. Let me ask you a question as a fan and then being a part of it. What's the most dangerous version of LeBron, in your opinion? The first clip, the Cleveland run, the Miami run where he was the villain, Black Mass, that's my personal favorite. Or when he came back to Cleveland. Which one would you say?
It's two of them, Lou. The Miami one was dangerous because he had something that he was hunting for that he didn't have. And we all know, all of us, when we didn't have nothing, how hungry we was to get it. When we was getting to the NBA, and then when we got there, we wanted to get the contract. We wanted to solidify ourselves. And so that was a dangerous version of Bron because he was on the hunt to getting that. And so he was very, very dangerous. And then when he went back to Cleveland, he had it figured out. So that's a dangerous version too, as y'all know as athletes. Once you figure it out, you're a bad man. And so I think the Miami Heat version, and then when he went back to Cleveland, those were the most dangerous versions because, one, he was hungry and hunting, and then he figured out so he could do it again and replicate that. So those were his two most dangerous versions to me.
Yeah, Norris, I want to stay there for a little bit because you were actually still playing for Cleveland State when LeBron left 2010 and had the whole decision thing. First of all, did that have an impact on you just being an Ohio kid? And do you remember, where you were during the decision?
So, yeah, I was still on campus. It didn't affect me personally. I thought that a player should be able to go wherever he wants to go. I didn't understand the professionalism part. I was in school. I was like, man, hey, if you want to go somewhere, go. But it did affect downtown Cleveland. It went from nice restaurants, lights, camera, action on the weekends during the week to ghost town. Downtown was a ghost town once he left. So I actually saw that visually. The economy changed. I was there and lived in person for sure.
It's crazy.
And then you're on the Heat in 2014 when he goes back to Cleveland. What was that like for the Heat? What was the organization like? Any Pat Riley moments that were hilarious once he bounced again?
Well, it was weird because I had fans in Cleveland that loved me, but still hated LeBron. And so that was the awkward thing when I would go back to school. They'd be like, man, congratulations. We wish the best for you. But, man, F him. And I'm like, man, you can't say that. I said, because his success is tied to my success. I said, you can't say that. So that was interesting. That was interesting. And then when I got to Miami, it was a whole different world. I had to change my whole wardrobe. I mean, I had all heavy clothes and stuff like that. And so Miami totally changed. I totally had to change kind of everything that I had known because it's a different culture. It's a different team. Pat Riley was so serious. I'm a serious guy by nature. But this guy is stone-faced, scar-faced mob boss. Sometimes you look at it, you don't know if you want to give him a nod or just turn your head. It was kind of weird, when you met Pat. But he's a good guy once you get to know him.
I love
Speaking of Pat, rumor here is LeBron, Pat Riley's whole little beef started over, Pat taking his cookies on the plane.
That just doesn't sound right.
Can you confirm that things got a little weird and uneasy that last season in Miami because of that?
Yes, things did get uneasy, but it was getting uneasy before that. You got to understand, Bron is used to having unlimited freedom. That's just what it is. And in the Miami Heat organization, it's never going to be like that. They give the best players some freedom, but there's always going to be some sort of, being held accountable. And Pat does that on purpose. Sometimes he irks you on purpose. In that cookie situation, he did that on purpose to irk Brian a little bit. Definitely did that on purpose. But, there was also talk about, the first year when they was trying to figure it out and, it was rumblings about could Spo coach this team. All that was going on. And so Pat Riley made a stand hey, listen, Spo's going to be the coach of this team no matter what nobody say. No matter what you say, no matter what you say, no matter what, he's going to be the coach no matter what. And so ever since then, it was well, Pat is the boss here, and Brian is used to always calling the shots a lot. And so it was always a little bit of rift there. And that cookie situation kind of just took it over the top.
There was a straw that broke
I
his
will
back.
never not laugh at the cookie situation. It
Hey,
makes me
Boogie.
giggle every
Boogie,
time.
what would you have done if George Karl took your cookies?
Cookies.
Yeah, George Karl ain't Pat Riley, so nah.
Yeah, that's it. Chandler, why are you? Don't do this. Don't set this
I'm just
up.
trying to rub him down.
Don't
him
get
started,
Boogie
bro.
wound up right now.
Don't do this
Don't
right
get him
now. We're all in
started
a good
up, dog.
mood.
It's
Like,
too early
come
in the
on now.
morning to get Boogie